Councillor Olson.
Here.
Bridge.
Here.
Bender.
Here.
Stenberg. McDonald.
Here.
Joyle.
Here.
Finsland.
Here.
Herrick.
Here.
McKenzie.
Here.
Councillor Brown is excused this evening. Nowicki.
Here.
And Sather.
Here.
Recognize the quorum. I'll ask for the consideration of the minutes of the January 17th meeting of the Common Council.
Motion to approve. Second.
Heard the motion and second. Councillor McKenzie?
Yeah, under resolutions 10.1, there's a motion there it says by Councillor Herrick, but that motion was actually by me. And I talked to Mike just in case my memory was wrong, but he says that's true too. So
Okay, we'll make that correction.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
The motion as amended by the councillor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 6 is the consent agenda. You have an addition tonight, item 6.16, a referral from Councillor Bender to the Public Works Committee to remove permit parking signs on the 1600 block of North 29th Street, and Councillor McDonald is requesting to pull item 6.12, number 2.
Move to approve the consent agenda as modified.
Heard the motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 6.12, number 2, is the Finance Committee recommendations of January 12th to approve the hotel motel tax rate increase by 1.5%.
I would just like to abstain my vote because of my employment with Superior Public Museums.
Heard the motion and second to approve. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 7 is business by department head. City Clerk Kalan is requesting approval of the 7th Amendment to the agreement between the City of Superior and the PEGA TV coordinator for 2012.
Second.
Heard the motion and second to approve. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
7.2, Finance Director Vito is recommending approval of the 2012 wastewater treatment plant budget.
Councillor Olson.
Proposed 2012 wastewater treatment plant budget with the authority for the council to change the budget upon Mayor Hagan's detailed review of the environmental services operation. Second.
You heard the motion and second. Would the clerk repeat the motion?
No.
So, go ahead.
Discuss. The motion is to approve the proposed 2012 wastewater treatment plant budget with the authority for the council to change it, meaning the budget, upon Mayor Hagan's detailed review of environmental services operations. The reason I made the motion that way is that, Mayor, you've indicated in here that there will be the detailed, with the stormwater review being January through March of 2012 and the wastewater review being conducted between April and June of 2012.
That's correct.
And I just thought that it would be a little bit more appropriate that if we have it that way, rather than come back and set a precedence of changing a budget in the middle of the year.
Yeah, for those that may not be familiar, we are reviewing the stormwater division of the wastewater treatment plant, and secondarily the wastewater division of the plant for management, staffing, operational costs, and level of such, to see if we can do a better job with regard to managing the budget and the operations. Not that they're not being managed quality-wise, it's just that it's open for review and it's necessary to review. Any further discussion? Councillor? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 7.3, Public Works Director Getzman is recommending to award the bid for the mobile litter fence to Meta Technologies for $48,790.
Motion to approve. Second.
For the motion and second, discussion? Councillor?
Yeah, just if Jeff, if you can explain why
this option was chosen, why we're going to go this route? I know you explained it in committee, but just so the viewers may understand.
Yeah, certainly, Councilor Herrick. The issue we've got right now is our landfill is being developed as a big pyramid in the fashion that we fill it with trash. The point we're filling now is almost the top of the pyramid, and so we're working trash way up in the air trying to compact it. And part of our permit requirements with the DNR require us to control wind-blown debris, plastic bags, and all those kinds of things. The fence we built several years ago is lower than where we're working, and so we're paying a lot of temporary help to come out and just do nothing but pick trash. These pieces of fence are basically 24-foot sections of a fence that looks like a baseball backstop. It goes up, and then it has a return over the top, and you can move them around with the front end loader out there and place them where you need them in the areas where the crews are working, and so they can catch wind-blown debris right in the working phase. And we feel that the return on the investment here is 2 to 3 years. We're paying about $20,000 a year for temporary help right now, and for $48,000 we can buy the necessary fence to contain all that stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 7.4, Fire Chief Rickstead is requesting authorization to enter into a new mutual aid and fire suppression services agreement with the Department of Natural Resources.
Second.
Heard the motion in multiple seconds. Discussion. Councillor McKenzie.
Yeah, Jim, I understand what you're doing here. I think probably some people here and some people watching on TV probably don't. I wonder if you could maybe explain a little bit the procedure.
Well, we've had an agreement with the DNR for many years to provide wildland fire suppression capabilities within the city. This agreement is being done statewide with all of the fire departments. They're upgrading everybody's agreement and getting everybody on the same agreement. With this agreement, after 1 hour of fighting a brush fire, we could bill the DNR for some of the expenses incurred for brush fires. And also, with this agreement in place, it qualifies us for the grants that the DNR does for wildland fire suppression. If we don't have this agreement in place, we would not be eligible for those grants.
Thanks. Thanks for thinking.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 8.1, Mayor Hagan is reappointing Mary Bodie to the Community Development Block Grant Advisory Board for a term expiring in December 2014.
Second.
Heard the motion a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 9.1, Youth Councilor Nowicki is going to provide a report.
I'd just like to talk very briefly about the past weekends, not as 8 days ago now, the pond hockey tournament in Superior. Even though it was at Saha this year as opposed to Barker's Island, I was still very successful. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time down there. I actually played on a team myself this year. And I'd like to thank the council for its continued support of the pond hockey tournament. It really is Saha's biggest revenue, largest fundraiser throughout the year. I've played for Saha since I was in 4th grade, me and my friends and all the other youth in the city, so it's really good to see the support we get from the city. So again, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Nowicki and Councillor Sather, for all the work you did in providing that exciting event for a lot of young people in our community and beyond. I was there for a brief period of time. A little cold, but I survived, and I want to thank you very much on behalf of the council and the community.
Item 10.1 is a resolution introduced by the Plan Commission amending Resolution Number 11-13030 to vacate and discontinue 2 alleys between Banks and Tower Avenues and North 26th and 28th Streets.
Motion to approve. Second.
Heard the motion and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 10.2 is a resolution of the City of Superior identifying blighted property and providing approval to the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Superior to assist in the private acquisition, improvement, and development of blighted property.
Motion to approve. Second.
Heard the motion and second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 10.3 is a resolution providing for the issuance, sale, and delivery of $2,660,000 taxable general obligation promissory notes, Series 2012A, establishing the terms and conditions thereof, directing their execution and delivery, creating a debt service account therefor, and awarding the sale thereof.
Director Vito?
Thank you, Mayor. And for clarification, this is related to the Kestrel project, these promissory notes. And our low bidder came in at 2.2%, and that's for a taxable issue, which is something I have never seen. So that's very, very low. We're happy to see that. We did have 9 bidders on these notes, and another thing I'd like to mention is that we did maintain our AA rating from Standard & Poor's. So a number of us had a conference call with them last week, and so we're happy to maintain that. And I would just entertain any questions that you may have.
Counselor?
Jean, my question is, are we sure none of these are going to be called in? I know you had a problem with one, and I want to make sure that they're not going to call in the note. You sent us an email about them calling in the note?
About them, I'm not following.
There was a note, and they called it due, and you gave him your opinion. They called in a note. I can talk to you after.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Any further discussion? I want to thank Gene Vito and everybody that worked on this. This has been a very exciting opportunity for the community, but also it's like Gene said, I've never seen interest rates come in at this low, especially on a taxable bond issue, and it shows a lot of faith in the community, but also it also shows a lot of interest in the economy. So, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 10.4 is a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of up to $3,649,077 sewerage system revenue bonds, Series 2012B, and providing the other details and covenants with respect thereto.
Heard the motion and second. Director, you want to talk about that?
Just a clarification on what I sent earlier, and I'll apologize again. I received the notice that we were closing on this loan, I think it was last week. And so when I got that information from the DNR, I forwarded that via email and then hard copy just to make sure everybody got that. And so this is the correction that I wanted to make, is that I noted that in the past we have always issued sewer revenue bonds, and I thought this was simply going to the Clean Water Loan Program through the state to get their loan. It's a little more complicated than that. We have to issue the revenue bonds, and then the state buys our bonds. We still get the 2.4% interest rate that I had mentioned before, though, so another good interest rate.
President Olson?
Just in clarification, to piggyback on that, Jackie, I believe that's the email that she sent out to us. Okay.
Okay, thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 10.5, a resolution introduced by the Common Council, authorized the filing of an application with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for a grant under the Harbor Assistance Program.
Motion approved.
You've heard the motion and second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
11.1, an ordinance introduced by the Public Works Committee amending the traffic code, no parking in designated spaces.
Call for the pledge. Heard the motion and second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 11.2 is an ordinance introduced by the Finance Committee amending City Code Chapter 74, Article 3, Hotel Motel Tax.
Second.
Heard the motion and second. Counselor?
I would just like to abstain my vote again. Thank you.
Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 12.1, Cultural and Education Activities Coordinator Jess McCluklow is proposal for an archaeological test excavation at the old firehouse and police museum.
Yes, sir.
Mayor?
Yes.
Just, me? Mayor?
Oh,
Sorry. I was just, sorry about that. I was just going to introduce Jess. Jess contacted me a couple of months ago about doing this, and I'm hoping Councilor's got the kind of the sheet of what he would like to do. I thought I'd put it in front of you, since it is city property, that he would like to do this, these few digs on, and maybe you got a couple of questions for him. It's kind of a interesting, curious project, and go ahead, Jess.
Thank you. I have additional material with me in case anybody didn't get sheets or contact information or anything like that. But yeah, my name is Jess McCullough. I work over at UW Superior in the Student Support Services office. One of the different hats that I wear there in that office is teaching history for the Access program, which is an alternate admissions program worked out between UWS and Barron County. One of the projects that we do in the summer, and have done it in the past, is a summer seminar reserved for Student Support Services members, and these are all people who qualify as either first-generation college students, low income, or living with a disability, so that would make high-risk, or excuse me, not high-risk, at-risk students in terms of completion and that kind of thing. So we like to do a summer seminar in order to keep people engaged in school, and that contributes to our high graduation rate within the SSS program. We had previously done this as sort of an outdoor biology credit. They got 2 credits, one in First Nation Studies, one in biology. This year we're looking to do something a little different, 1 credit in history, 1 in anthropology, through doing an archaeological test excavation at Superior Public Museum site, the old firehouse and police museum. The basic outline of that project would be when the firehouse was constructed in 1898, a couple years after, there was a fire that destroyed part of it. The test excavation would really be just that, a test. It would be a pit about 1 meter square, basically looking to see if the foundation was still there and if there are any interesting things that would require more digging. It would go on for 1 week. I actually just got approval today from the state archaeologist, John Broyhan. Wisconsin Historical Society has signed off on this. Superior Public Museums is interested in maybe making it an ongoing thing if it proves worthwhile. But as Mr. Sirk said, it is city property, and I will answer any questions that you might have.
My question is just, is it going to disrupt business as usual? I mean, I'm picturing excavating.
It's not projected to, no. It would be a period of about 1 week, and in fact, the digging itself may only take a day or two. The way a test pit is dug, like I said, 1 meter square, go down by layer, sorting out anything that's buried that may be of interest. Then the pit's filled back in again, and they place the sod on top, and it's almost like it's never there.
Yeah, how big of an area are you talking about excavating? And
this year, the exact location on the grounds is not known exactly, but in terms of surface area, very, very small. If it turns out that there is something worth looking at in the future, we may redesign a new course to do a somewhat larger dig. But again, considering the number of students that we have available to do this, there would never be anything particularly large or disruptive scale.
And is it next to the building or behind the building, or?
It's next to the building. There's a slight rise in the lawn that looks like that may be. It syncs up with the photograph we have of the old fire hall about where the third stall might be. So there could be anything from just an old foundation to a horseshoe or anything. But it seems to be the most promising of the sites. Fairlawn Mansion itself the grounds have been torn up so many times with different construction projects and reconstruction that it's hard to tell if you're digging in anything that's pristine.
Sure. Well, it sounds like a really, really interesting project.
Thank you.
We're still in favor.
Heard the motion and second to approve. Now, is there any further discussion?
Still a good idea.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. I'd like to at this time introduce Chancellor Renee Wachter. She is here to, oops, I better turn the mic on too. Chancellor Wachter is here. She wanted to introduce herself, and many of us have had the pleasure of meeting her. And she's been a member of the university and our community for about 3/4 of a year, maybe. Time flies, whatever. Yeah. And I want to say the first meeting I had with her over at her office, she took me by pleasant surprise and says, "I want to know about economic development and community development because I want to be a part of it." And I said, "Well, let's talk." So from that day to this day, she's been a very interested, active, and deeply committed person to the well-being of not just the campus, but the community that surrounds the campus. And I just can't tell you how much we all are delighted to work with you. So if you would like to say a few words, or?
You're fine. Oh, why don't you come on up to the mic?
Thank you, Mayor Hagan. I just want to tell you how pleased I am to be here. My husband here in Superior. It's been all of about 7 months, which has gone, I think, at warp speed. I want to say that how pleased I am to see the level of relationship between the university and the city, and want you to know that I'm committed to making sure that that relationship is strong and active. I've had the pleasure of meeting some of you outside of this setting, but many of you it looks like I have not, so I always want to make sure that you've got the ability to put a face with the name, and if you ever see me around in the community, that you would certainly stop and introduce yourself and say hello. So thank you for recognizing me tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Chancellor. Any further business to come before this body? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. We stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
Yeah.